story of the badger. When I first moved into Rose Cottage, I was met by a local publican. For some reason, he kept telling me I'd never open. I found that really strange, looking at him walking with his wife, presumably, hand in hand. Why would he tell a stranger? Why would he want to give a stranger such bad news? Anyway, get back to the badger story. So I moved in with my little dog, and she started barking one morning. Different kind of bark. So I went to investigate. There was a badger in the garden. The poor thing had a cut over the top of its neck, like maybe it tried to get under a fence. I guess because of the injury, she was really vicious and I couldn't catch her in a box. So I had to call the RSPCA. Whilst he was expertly catching her, he kept saying, "There are no badger sets near here. Badgers only travel half a mile. There are no badger sets within half a mile, within maybe 2 miles of here." He kept saying this, the RSPCA guy. And I'm thinking, looking at the badger, are you an idiot? That's a badger in front of us, and you're intimating that it couldn't have made it here. We'd checked the fence too. There were no holes. It was quite a very secure garden. In fact, no one had been in the garden for 30 years. There's my bit of my naivety creeping in here. So I wrote the badger, the RSPCA guy, is a bit of a nutcase, insisting there are no badger sets near me, implying that the badger couldn't have got here whilst there's a badger in front of us. About 3 years later, I bought a drum kit because I was encouraging bands to come southwest of Bristol. So I was supplying a kit and amplifiers and PAs to make their journey easier. And they got free accommodation and a lovely steak dinner. I bought the drum kit off Mark. Thanks, Mark. He said he lived in Carharrick near the gypsy camp. And he said, "Is it true that you had a badger in your garden?" Now, that was very strange because I hadn't told anyone. And it was about 2 or 3 years ago. And he said, because we all used to laugh about it in the camp. Someone came along and paid £1,000. Apparently it's a thing you can buy. It's a service you can buy to get them to throw a wounded badger in your garden. I guess as a sort of kind hello from the village and the town. So that's what the RSPCA guy meant, that he couldn't actually verbalise, was that someone had thrown the badger into your garden. It hadn't made its own way there. That would have been good to know 2 or 3 years ago. But there you are. That's one of the welcomes from Redruth. To tag Redruth with such a dark story, because it's only really one guy. All the problems in Redruth stem from one guy.